Hello, welcome to episode 21 of Little Bobbins Knits. My name is Dani and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Little Bobbins. We have a Ravelry group which you can find by searching Little Bobbins Knits, and show notes for the podcast can be found at littlebobbins.co.uk. So welcome, thank you so much for being here today. We're in a different location. The builders are back. So I thought I would see how it goes recording in my bedroom, because it's the farthest point from where they are. So I'm not sure what the lighting's going to be like, and there might be even more noise because we're at the front of the house where all of the comings and goings are. So we'll see. I just thought let's give it a go instead of just not recording. So I have little Bobbin here, he's resting. Oh Bobbin, you're so cute. He quite likes this because the bed's far comfier than my desk, he says. Good boy. So thank you so much to everyone who's been in touch this week on the Ravelry group or private message or on Instagram. It's always so lovely to hear from you. And thank you to the new members of the group and new subscribers on YouTube. It's so wonderful that you've found the podcast and joined in, so thank you very much. So today I have some works in progress to show you, some finished objects, one finished object actually, not some spinning, some lovely things, and we talk about the finally here Cup Cosy Swap, which I'm really excited about. So feels very strange filming in a different location, I must say. We'll see how it goes. Right, so works in progress. My little cat bag. I have made some progress on my sock blank socks. So this is a sock blank that I got from Easy Knits at Unravel a couple of weeks ago, easyknits.co.uk. And I just love the colours, especially in this middle part. Really interesting. To knit with a sock blank, if you haven't used one before, you literally just pull the knitted fabric apart and knit straight from the wiggly yarn. And I was a bit trepidatious about this because I like my work to be neat all the time while I'm doing it, and then obviously when it's finished. And it's not neat when you're knitting it. You can see all of the wiggles in the stitches. But when they block, or when you block them, they all completely come out. And it's just like you have worked with regular unwiggly yarn. I do find that I knit a bit tighter just so that I make sure I'm not compensating. Well, so I am compensating for this elasticity that you've got with the wiggliness. But apart from that, I just knit completely the same. So I've started this sock toe up, and I've put in a fish lips kiss heel, which is really hard to see because that's the black part, because I want to make the most of this orange part. I want to end this first sock about here. I'm not sure how tall it'll end up, but I'll just keep going. To do that, I did take off a bit of the yarn at the beginning, because otherwise it would have just been the longest sock ever. But I do find with these sock blanks, they go a lot further than you think they will. So I think really I should have taken off a bit more yarn so that I get a reasonable length sock by knitting to here. I think it will still be quite a long sock, because yeah, it does seem to go a lot further than you anticipate. And I'll use this bit as a square in my blanket, and maybe some heels and toes on different socks. I was thinking of doing the heel with this on here, but I just thought it was too close to that part. If there'd been more black in the middle I would have, but it just felt too close, so I'll just save that. I'll probably wash it before I do anything else with it though. Get the kinks out. So I'm knitting this sock on my signatures, 2.25mm, which are nice to use. I tend to use these if I'm knitting one sock at a time for whatever reason, because I don't have another set. And yeah, they're pleasant. I do find with these though, they don't warm up, and I imagine if you had any sort of arthritis or soreness of your hands, that might be quite irritating, because the higher sharps, which are my favourites, they really warm up with your hands. They're so light, they make knitting just such a comfortable experience, whereas these are very cold and they don't seem to warm up for me, so that's quite interesting, I think. But yeah, that's my blank socks, and I'm just sort of knitting on these when I need some knitting that I don't want to think about, because now I've just got to go round and round until I finish the cuff. And then I'm going to do the other sock top down from wherever I finish, so that I sort of get matching socks. So we'll see how that goes. I think this has got slightly more black than the other side, so they won't be exact by any means, but that's my intention anyway. I was looking on Instagram yesterday and I saw that Vine, Kristen from the Yarngasm podcast, has started dyeing sock blanks. They just look beautiful. I think the fun thing about sock blanks is seeing how that flat knitted piece, how the dyeing on that flat knitted piece works up in the round at a different gauge. It's so exciting. So on Kristen's she had some spotted sections, and they'd be fascinating, just watching how they come out in your knitting. It's so fun. And I remember on Susan B. Anderson's podcast a little while ago, she showed some sock blanks that she got from, I think it was Gail's Art, and they had stamped sections. They would just be so exciting to knit. So much fun. So, I still love sock blanks. I just think they're really exciting. And as long as you can get past that wiggly stitched part at the beginning and just get on with the knitting, then it all works out really well. So my second work in progress, my big fondant fibre bag, is my Campside for Mum. I'm knitting this in Rowan alpaca colour, which is 100% alpaca. Nice and soft, smushy singles yarn. I think they've discontinued this, I'm not sure. I imagine that was why it was on sale, unless they've just discontinued the colour. But the colour is 75. So I've done the first charts. The charts are mirrored left and right, and I've done all of that chart. I haven't had to take it back yet, but I seem to remember that it was in the later charts where the eyelets get more frequent that my mind just wandered and I forgot to add them in places, so that was when all the taking it back stuff happened. So yeah, it's grown a little bit, and this yarn, I don't know if you can tell, but it's got slight colour changes, which I hadn't anticipated. I did see in the ball that it wasn't all a flat colour. There's sort of a bright muted petrol blue, if that's not a contradiction, and a true sort of jeans blue, denim blue. So, but I didn't expect it to come out in stripes like this, because it's quite big sections of the different colour. But I think that will be quite nice, because you can barely see it, it just sort of adds a bit of depth, I think. And when the rows get longer, those stripes will get less thick. So yeah, think it would be nice. And I was knitting this and I totally got back into the feeling that I was having with the Campside that I knit for me. It's just such a fun, relaxing, meditative knit. Really, really enjoy it. So I'm knitting that on my Hi Sharps interchangeables, 4.5mm, which I love. And yeah, I'm nearly through the first ball. It's Campside by Alicia Plummer. Really enjoy that pattern. Do have a look at the project pages of people who've knit it if you are going to knit it, because there are a few little inconsistencies that it's worth finding out about first. Nothing difficult, and the pattern is very intuitive, so once you get into it, it's fine. But yeah, it's a really, really nice shawl. So my last work in progress. Now I hoped that this wouldn't be a work in progress. I hoped that this would be a finished object. It's Bonbon by Susan Claudino. And Bonbon is currently headless because I have no eyes of the right size. I think it's 12mm. But I've ordered some. They're on their way. So yes, soon Bonbon will have a head. Has his ears. And Amy, your comment in the forum made me laugh because yes, Mum has already claimed Bonbon. It did make me giggle. So he's so cute and he's got a fluffy tail. I used scraps of some Rowan Angora Merino that I'd used for socks. Oh, he's just so sweet. I just love the big feet, and I love, he's going to look so cute when he's sitting. Oh, such big feet. I'm using some hand spun yarn. I spun this on my drop spindle. It's a 3-ply. I think it's alpaca and maybe merino. I can't quite remember. And there's lots and lots of sparkle in there. I spun the 3 plies on a drop spindle and then plied them on my wheel. So yeah, this is how he's been sitting on the little ball of yarn until he gets a head. He's so cute. I'm quite tempted to knit another one in a fingering weight yarn because I think that would just be adorable. I've got a lovely big cup of English breakfast tea today. It feels quite early. I don't think it's actually early, but it feels quite early, and English breakfast is a early in the day tea for me. And it always reminds me of my mum because it's all my mum drinks. So, oh, finished objects. I finished David's socks. So that's very exciting. I don't think I need to put them on sock blockers actually because they're quite flat, but yeah, I reversed the stripes on this Nicole C. Mendez yarn, used a 68 stitch count on 2.25mm needles and a little mini skein from the Wool Barn. I think it's an MCN and it's lovely and soft, and I just loved how the colours went together. So yeah, I really like these. David only wanted a short cuff, so they didn't really take that long, and yeah, that heel is very, very soft. I used a Fish Lips Kiss heel, not sure if I just said that or not, and I really like the Fish Lips Kiss heel. It's very easy to memorise once you've done it a couple of times. It's in your head, and the videos that the socks therapist who invented the pattern has on YouTube are so clear, so it's just really, really user-friendly heel. I haven't done any of the cardboard foot template thing because I'm impatient. I keep meaning to, but never get round to it. So I just, because I usually knit top down at the moment, I just put my heel in wherever I feel like I've got enough leg, and then you can just try it on to see when you need to start your toe. So there's no measuring needed really. So yeah, really, really good heel. I just used the heel pattern that's a couple of paragraphs long. So the pattern can look a bit intimidating because it is about 16 pages, but if you just go to the foot, just go to the heel part, it's completely fine. And a great heel. It's such a versatile one because it's really great for striped socks or ones with a pattern that you don't want to interrupt, and I really enjoy it. So yeah, pleased with those, and I like how they look reversed. I think it's worked out really well on these, and I love that yarn. I'm looking forward to knitting some more of my Nicole C. Mendez stash now, because that was just such pleasant yarn to knit with. It was really bouncy, and I love the sort of hand painted quality of the stripes. Really nice. So spinning, just looking at little Bobbin here, it's just flat out. Don't think we'll get much activity out of him because he's just so comfortable. Aren't you, Bobbin? I'd try and show you, but it would just not work. No, it wouldn't work. That there is Blue. He's my childhood teddy bear. Very, very dear friend of mine. So spinning. I finished my 3 bobbins of the Juno Fibre Arts Superwash Merino. That was the first bobbin that you saw last week. This was the second bobbin, and you can see I got a bit bored and didn't change my hooks there. And this is my third bobbin that is missing a couple of the colours. So, not sure what weight this is going to come out as, but it's going to be socks. I don't know how much yardage I'm going to get, but it'll still be socks, even if there's not too much and I have to knit them toe up. It'll be fine. So I'll apply that at some point this week. I'm looking forward to it. And then I'll cast on some socks. I don't want to say that I'm getting back into spinning because my mind could change in the next 10 minutes, but spinning is getting quite exciting. But I just want to spin everything for socks because I want all the hand spun socks at the moment. So I went online last night. I couldn't sleep. And the Etsy app on your phone when you can't sleep is quite frankly a dangerous thing. So I got some sparkly Superwash BFL from Felt Studio UK. 2 braids. I thought I'd spin up some for my socks, for socks for me and socks for Mum. So that sounds pretty exciting. Just want to spin all the socks. And I think it can be quite, for me anyway, last year it was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. I think it was the year before actually. I set myself a challenge to knit an amount of socks in the year. I can't actually remember how many. I think it was 14 or something. And one of them, they all had to be different patterns or use different elements, like different heels or different toes or different toe up or top down. They all had to have a different element to them, and one of the pairs had to be hand spun. And I really made that so much more difficult than it needed to be, because I was thinking, oh, I'll have to use a superwash merino and nylon, and I'll have to make it a 3-ply, and I'll have to get it sock weight. But really, why? In the end, I hadn't spun any because I'd been psyching myself out because I didn't know that I'd be able to achieve the perfect sock yarn. And I just used some mixed breed wool 2-ply that I'd spun a while before, and I love those socks. They're really comfortable. I don't put them in the washing machine, but that's fine. I have some pairs of socks that I don't put in the washing machine. And they've stood up really well. I knit them on a smaller gauge needle to give them a bit more strength, but they're doing really great. So if you feel like spinning for socks and you're psyching yourself out like I did by saying they've got to be perfect, they've got to be 3-ply, they've got to be sock weight, just let yourself have fun with the spinning and let them turn out however they want to, because you'll still get lovely socks and they'll be hand spun, and it's so exciting. So I think knitting those just sort of loosened me up a bit and stopped me from listening to rules that I didn't make and I don't believe are important. So yes, just have fun with it. That's my plan. And I'm intrigued how these are going to come out. I say I didn't do any colour management, and I didn't really intentionally, but I know this ply I sort of spun longer colour repeats. This one I spun slightly shorter colour repeats, and this one I really split the braid and tried to keep the colour repeats really short so it would just jumble up all the colours, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it comes out. Very exciting. I'm looking forward to my new spinning as well, my new spinning fibres that are going to arrive as well. But I just want to spin everything into socks. I've got a lovely fondant fibre braid downstairs that's Norwegian wool and bamboo. And bamboo's got a lot of strength to it. And Norwegian wool feels quite, there's a toothiness to it. It feels like it would be quite hard wearing, so I'm quite tempted to just start those after this. If you haven't noticed, this is what I do. I get completely obsessed with stuff, throw myself at it, and then it sort of peters off. So we'll see when the petering off happens. So, lovely things. I got some really lovely surprise post from Diane, who is Peggy May on Instagram and has the Peggy May podcast and Peggy May Yarns on Etsy. She sent me a really sweet package, all wrapped in lovely silver stars paper. And in there was a toy for Bobbin, which is downstairs because it has been thrown around. Hasn't it, Bobbin? He's fast asleep. I'll wake him up in a minute so he can come and say hello. There's some lovely minis wrapped in this cute owl ribbon, which is so sweet. So they'll be really fun to knit into my blanket. And she also sent me some sweeties. I love these sweets. Parma violets. Have you tried them? They're perfumed like chalky sweets. I love them. They're so yummy. And some love hearts and a little lollipop. And these really cute magnetic clothespins. They're very sweet. And she also sent me a lovely skein of her hand-dyed yarn in such a beautiful colour. Oh, that is just such a pretty, sweet colour. Just totally Parma violet-y. And the package was so completely wonderfully colour coordinated because she also sent these really pretty tea bags which go so perfectly as well. such a pleasure to open. Just so lovely. And I'm really looking forward to knitting with this yarn. I imagine it will be a pretty pair of socks. But look at the lovely different shades in there. So pretty. Peggy May Yarns is on Etsy. So I'll put links in the show notes, but really, really pretty. And thank you so much, Diane. So lovely of you. And Bobbin loves his toy too. So that was exciting. I also ordered another skein from Felt Fusion because I can't seem to knot at the moment. And it's rainbows. And I don't know if I have any rainbow yarn. I seem to... Well, rainbows have never really been my thing, but I just thought this was so pretty. And I love some of the different shades in there. Like, can you see that lovely coral, lovely lavender, violet purpley colours. It's called Rainbows and Clouds, and it's on the sparkle sock because I can't resist sparkle. 400 metres to 100 grams. It's just so pretty. I think I was drawn to this because the colours just, they're not in your face rainbow. They kind of are, but there's just some really nice subtle colours in there. Like that coral. Oh, coral is such a beautiful colour. I love that. There's almost greys where the purple changes into another colour. It's so pretty. And I quite fancy knitting Mum a pair of rainbow socks, so I was thinking of caking this up and starting a pair. Maybe Hermione's everyday socks. That's my plan. We'll see when I start. So that was really lovely. And I also got a little bag from Love Knitting. Cute how it comes in this little organza-y type bag with the ribbon. I could resist no longer. I got some of the Regia 4-ply tweed. Oh, I love it. Oh, I really love these multicoloured little tweedy neps. I think they are so fun. So I got some grey. And I also got one of the creamy coloured ones. And that's got sort of natural colour tweedy bits in it. I've been seeing this Regia tweed on Molly at Homespun House's podcast for ages because she can get the lovely different colours where she is in Germany. Remember, she knit some gorgeous pink ones, the pink tweed, and I think she's knit some blue tweed ones as well. They're just so pretty. And then I saw on Lena's podcast, A Wee Bit Knitty, that she'd got some. I just thought, I can't hold out any longer. I need some tweed. So I caved and got some. And I love it. It's really nice and soft. It's quite, again, it feels quite fine. But it's going to make lovely socks. I was thinking about a textured pair. And I'm not sure if these are ones that I've seen or ones that are in my mind. But I was thinking maybe a cable up the side and a bit of moss stitch or some sort of textured stitch up the top of the foot. I might have seen this pattern because it's quite clear in my head, but I thought that would be quite nice. And then maybe plain ones with the other colour. Again, I think I'm going to knit a pair for me and a pair for Mum out of these. Don't know which one of us will get which, but I have to ask Mum which one her favourite is. So that was exciting. So, Cup Cosy Swap. Finally, it's here and I'm very, very excited. I've opened the thread in the group, so if you want to join in, just go and sign up in the thread and just let us know whether you are willing to ship internationally, and if you've got any allergies that your swap partner should know about. The lovely Seashore Sharon is helping me organise this, which I'm immensely grateful for, so thank you, Sharon. And Sharon's opened a chat thread so we can talk about the patterns that we might use, or if we found some really lovely patterns then we can share them in there. So it's just going to be so much fun. I'm really looking forward to it. The plan is that we send a cup cosy that we've made, crochet or knitted, or maybe sewn, I'm not sure, but when you've signed up we'll pair you with somebody and put your partner and your name at the top of the thread, and then you can exchange addresses with your partner. So yes, very exciting. We'll include a cup cosy, a postcard from where you live, and maybe your favourite tea bag or something. They're the sort of essentials. Anything else you want to include is completely up to you. Really, a cup cosy is the only essential, but the other things would be lovely to include. Although I went out looking for postcards of my area. I can't find them anywhere. We tried to go into we've got a National Trust house very, very close by. We tried to go in there to have a look, and that was a failure. So this postcard gathering might be more difficult. Did you just see those paws? He's having a stretch. Might be more difficult than I anticipated. So I might end up just taking a photo of, we've got a lovely common just down the road. Might end up just taking a photo of that and using that as my postcard, because I'm not sure that postcards are going to be easy to find around here. But it'd be lovely just to give your swap partner a little idea about where you live, and so it can feel like you're having a cup of tea together when you use your cup cosy and their favourite tea bag. So yeah, really excited about that. Do come and join in the thread if you would like to, because I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm going to grab this little dog. Oh, you're so sleepy. So sleepy. He's very, very lazy. He's only been up about an hour, but he's still like this. Funny little monkey. Hi, I love you. So I've noticed that there are some new things in the what do you want to see on the podcast thread, so I'll prepare some bits to answer those, and yeah, tell you about those, which will be fun. Oh, baby. Good boy. But other than that, I think that's it really. So I felt like a really, really quick episode, but I just wanted to get something out because I really wanted to start my Monday. Oh, I've got fluff on my nose now. Get back into the Monday routine, and so I thought I wouldn't get too far away from Monday, if that makes sense. So I hope you have a really, really lovely week, and come and join in with the Cup Cosy Swap if you'd like to. And I'll hope to see you next week. Thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely week. Bye.